Alright, so in this walkthrough, we're going to create an Azure policy to restrict deployment of Azure resources to a specific location. So let's start off by opening our Edge browser here. We're going to go to the portal.azure.com and we're going to type our credentials here. Alright, so from the All Services blade, we're going to search and select policy. So let's go to All Services. We're going to go up here and select policy. And then we are going to go to the authoring area right here on the side. And we're going to click assignments. Or actually, I'm sorry, we're going to click definitions first. And we're just going to take a moment to review the list of built-in policy definitions, which there are a lot. Like, I mean a lot. So yeah, for example, in the category drop-down select, we are going to check mark everything, and we're just going to select something like compute. And notice that the allowed virtual machine SKUs, where is it? Let's take a look right here. Allowed virtual machine SKUs definition enables us to specify a set of virtual machine SKUs that our organization can deploy. Pretty cool. So let's return to the policy page here, back to the overview, and we'll go back to the authoring section, and we're going to click assignments. An assignment is a policy that has been assigned to take place within a specific scope. For example, a definition could be assigned to the subscription scope. So we're going to click Assign Policy here at the top of the Policy Assignments page. And on the Assign Policy page, we're going to keep the default scope here. And then what we're going to do is Policy Definition. We're going to click these ellipses right here. And we are going to search for a policy, and that policy that we are searching for is going to be allowed locations. There you go, allowed locations. And we're going to click add. Assignment name is going to stay allowed locations 2. We're going to go to the parameters page here for our policy, and we're going to basically pick our allowed locations. And we are going to select Japan West, because we got OnlyFans of cans in Japan. Our OnlyCans is big in Japan. So now we're going to click Review and Create, and we are going to create this policy. So a scope determines what resource or grouping of resources the policy assignment applies to. In our case, we could assign this policy to a specific resource group. However, we choose to assign the policy at the subscription level, which is like the top of the top. Be aware that resources can be excluded based on the scope configuration. Exclusions are optional. So this allowed location policies definition will specify a location into which all resources must be deployed. If a different location is chosen, deployment will not be allowed. For more information, view the Azure Policy Samples page. And we could do that. We can open up a new tab. We can copy and paste this information. Whoop. I always do that. Give me a second. Okay. And then we can kind of just read over what's going on here when it comes to regulatory compliance. This is what that allowed policy could be good of. Let's say if we're doing stuff and we don't want to break any regulatory compliance rules, we can keep stuff in-house in our country. We can keep stuff out of other countries. And yeah, all right, let's go back here. So we're gonna go to next. Let's see, the allowed locations policy is now listed on the policy assignments. So we might have to refresh this. There it is, allowed locations. Yeah. And it is now in place, enforcing the policy at the scope level we specified, which was the subscription level. Pretty cool. All right, now we're going to test our allowed location policy. So in the Azure portal, let's go back to the All Services blade. And we're going to go to Storage Accounts, and we're going to create a storage account. And then we're going to configure the storage account. Let's see, we're going to keep our subscription default because that's what we placed the policy on. Resource group is going to be default. We're going to name our storage account storage account can fans, and we're going to keep US East. And already you could see that there's a policy validation error happening. But if we were to click review, we're going to get that validation error as well. And if we go back to basics, get some more information here, we're going to see that there's a policy enforcement happening. And the values does not meet the requirements on resources. We can go here to policy details. It's going to take us to this page of our allowed locations policy. It's basically stopping us from creating this storage account because we have a policy set for allowed locations, and that location was Japan West. So yeah, lastly, what we're going to do is we're going to delete the policy assignment. So in this task, we'll remove the allowed policy assignment, and we're going to test it. So unfortunately, that test part isn't going to happen in real time because it takes longer than just a minute or 2 or even 5. I did this lab simulation beforehand, and I waited quite a while to see if this policy would delete, and it doesn't. So just the way of the beast with Azure. But we're gonna just show kind of like what's going on. For example, when I click policy details, it brings me to this page. When I'm trying to create that storage account, you'll see what happens. So let's go back to the All Services blade, and let's search for policy again. And then we are gonna go there. You can see our allowed policies. So on the policy blade, we can view compliance state of various policies and whatnot. So we're gonna click on the allowed policies here, and then we're gonna click view assignment. And then from here, we can click delete assignment, and we will delete it. And then, yeah, we just confirm that we deleted it. Successfully deleted assignment here in our notifications. Things are looking good. And then if we were to, before we go and try and create that storage account again, let's do some, let's go to assignments here. We'll refresh. We'll make sure that there is no allowed policies here. Let's go to our overview. It still says allowed policy there. It might take a little bit of time to delete, but if we were to click it, it should give us like an error page. No, it's going to take a little bit longer. We certainly did delete it, so there you go. So our assignment is not found. It's a sad cloud. As you can see, it's crying. And yeah, we have a 404. This policy doesn't exist. It's not found. So what we're going to do is go back to that services. We're going to try creating our storage account again for our East US viewers of our Only Cans fans. Storage account, can fans. And if we went to review, we're still going to get that validation error because it takes some time for this policy to disappear. I even tried logging in, logging out, and logging back in. And it just takes time, I guess. But if we were to click policy details, we should get that error again. Here's our 404 error. So yeah, that's pretty much how you would create a policy and then delete a policy. So common scenarios where the allowed locations policy can be useful include cost tracking, because, you know, every country is using different money. You could have a different subscription for different regional locations. The policy will ensure that all resources are deployed in the intended region to help cost tracking. It can be used for data residency and security compliance, because there are different security measures taken in different states. You don't really want your US customer base information to be available within any type of cloud resources for the European customer base. Kind of, keep things separate there. You can also have the data residency requirements and create subscriptions per customer or specific workloads, and define that all resources must be deployed in a particular data center to ensure data and security compliance requirements. Yeah, there's a lot of, you could break the rules if you just start dishing out your clientele information just all over the globe. So you kind of have to keep things regional, kind of have to keep things safe and secure and within a certain country, because everybody's different. Everybody's different in this world. And that's pretty much it. We created an Azure policy to restrict deployment of Azure resources to a particular data center. And yeah, that's all I got for you. Hope you learned something. Thanks for watching.